Okay, so this is part 2 of Systems of Inequalities. I may need to make a part 3, guys, because the larger my video is, the harder it is to upload. So there may be a part 3 to this. So I would go ahead and pause your screen and go ahead and write down this word problem. Okay, so this word problem says that Joe has 2 different kinds of rope. Rope A costs 60 cents per foot, and rope B costs 90 cents per foot. Joe needs to buy at least 15 feet of rope, but he wants to spend no more than $18. Okay, so we haven't done any word problems yet with systems. So think about what we've done so far with systems. We've had 2 variables, okay? So we're going to have that same thing here. And think about, what are your unknowns here? Okay, well, our unknown is how much rope he's getting. We've got rope A and we've got rope B. So I'm going to call, as we, start these problems off, we're going to say that X is going to equal the, let's say feet of rope A, and then let's say that Y is going to be the feet of rope B that he's going to buy. Okay, now let's kind of think about all the different things that we have here. We have that rope A is going to cost 60 cents per foot, and then rope B is going to cost 90 cents per foot. And then we also have this information, okay? He needs to buy at least 15 feet of rope. So remember, at least means that he needs to buy 15 feet, but it is okay if he buys more. And then he wants to spend no more than $18. So no more than means that he wants to spend $18 and nothing more than $18. He can spend less, but not more. So with these systems of inequalities, when you do the word problems, look for stuff that pairs together. Okay, so like for example, we've got the cost of each rope. Like we've got the cost of rope A is 60 cents per foot, rope B is 90 cents per foot, and then we have how much he's actually wanting to spend. Put that information together into an equation. I know that if I want to figure out how much he spent on rope A, I'm going to do 0.60, because that's how much you spend on rope A, is 60 cents per foot, and I'm going to multiply it by the number of feet that he gets of rope A. Then I could take the rope B, so he's going to spend 90 cents on rope B, and multiply that by Y. That'll tell me how much he spends on rope B. Add those 2 together and your total amount would equal how much he spent on rope A and B. But look at what we know about how much he wants to spend. He wants to spend no more than $18. Remember, no more than means that he can spend $18, but he can't spend over. So we're going to say we want his amount to be less than or equal to 18. Okay, there's one equation, but we've got 2 variables here, so the only way we can solve for 2 variables is if we have 2 equations, because that's what we've been doing with these systems. We've had 2 equations, and with those 2 equations, we solve for 2 variables, an X and a Y. So look at the last piece of information you have that we haven't used yet, that he needs to buy at least 15 feet. Go back to your variables, okay? X is the number of feet of rope A, Y is the number of feet of rope B. So if you take the number of feet that he purchases of rope A, add it to the number of feet that he purchases to rope B, then you will figure out how much rope he actually purchased. So at least means that we want his amount that he purchased to be greater than or equal to 15. So this is going to be the hardest part, is just setting it up like we normally do. Setting up is where we need to pay attention and make sure that we truly understand is how to set these up. always label out your variable and then look for things, like look for pieces of information that match together. Like this is all talking about the cost, but then this is talking about how much rope he's going to buy. From here, it's kind of like what we were just doing in part 1 of this, is that now we're just going to solve this out. So we are going to actually put it on a graph, and we are going to graph it. So I'm going to start actually with this one right here. It's in standard form. So I'm going to rewrite it. And I'm going to rewrite it so that it's in slope-intercept form, so it's going to be a little bit easier for us to graph. So I subtract the 0.6x first. So I'll get negative 0.6x plus 18. And then I'm going to divide by the 0.9. So when I divide by 0.9, I'm going to get y is less than or equal to, my bad, negative 2/3 x plus 20. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and graph that. Okay, we kind of had to sketch our graphs, so our graphs may not be the best. Now remember, this is your y-axis, so that's actually rope B. This is your x-axis, so that's going to be rope A. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and graph it, and I'm going to kind of do like what I did in part 1, where I'm going to use a color for it. So so for this one, I'm going to put 20, my y-intercept first, and then my slope is negative 2/3. So that means I've got to go down 2/3. So be sure that you're watching. Like I've got my y-axis going down by 2 as well as my x-axis. So make sure you're very careful when you're going down 2/3 that you're actually doing that. So down 2/3, down 2/3. Okay, and then I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going down 2/3. We could have also found x and y intercepts. That may have been a little bit easier to graph because usually when we're doing standard form, we can find x and y intercepts. So I'm just going to go from there. Okay, this isn't or equal to, so that means I have a solid line. It's a little crooked, but it's okay. And then I'm going to use a test point. So I'm going to use the test point 0, 0 as always. So I substitute 0 in. So I'm going to have 0 is less than or equal to negative 2/3 times 0, 0. So 0 plus 20 is 20. So 0 is less than or equal to 20. So that means I'm going to want to shade where my test point is, which is here. Now something that you need to keep in mind with these, we're talking about price of rope, or like the number, or sorry, not the price of rope, but the feet of rope that he's purchasing. Those aren't going to be negative numbers. So we don't want to shade everything. We just want to shade positive, okay? So on the same side as the test point. Okay, now I'm going to do the other one. So now I'm going to do this x plus y is greater than or equal to 15. So I'm going to subtract x. And then that's all I have to do. So now I'm going to go ahead and graph that. So I start at 15. So I'm going to graph this one using blue. So I'm going to start at 15. And then I'm going to go down 1/1. So again, just do the best you can with it. Okay, this is an or equal to, so it is going to be a solid line. I'm thinking that red one should have been out a little bit more, but it's okay. Our graphs aren't going to be perfect with us having to hand draw them, so it's fine. Okay, so then I'm going to use a test point. So I'm going to do 0, 0 again. So I'm just going to plug 0 in. So I'm going to get 0 is greater than 15. That is not true, so I want to shade on the opposite side. So I want to shade all this. Again, we're talking about the number, like the amount of rope that he is purchasing, so we don't want to shade like this negative area. I'm sorry, I hope that you all can see that with my lighting. Let me see if I can fix it a little bit better. There we go. So remember, with these inequalities, we are looking for where they are both shaded. So they are both shaded right here. So this would be my solution area for this problem. So what I would want to do with this word problem is if I want to figure out how much rope he can purchase to stay within his budget and to buy at least 15 feet, I would just find a point within this shaded area where they were both shaded. Okay, so like I said, the hard part's going to be making this equation, but then once we make the equation and we graph it, which we should be pretty good at graphing these now because they're linear functions, then all we have to do is see where are they both shaded at, and then we have our solution. So I could pick any solution in here. So maybe I pick the solution 6, it looks like, let's see, what does it look like is in here? 6, it kind of looks like 12. You know, it'd be better if we had a perfect graph here, but it looks like 6, 12 would be in here. So if the point 6, 12 is in here and this is a solution, that means that he can buy 6 feet of rope A and then he can buy 12 feet of rope B, and he'll be in his price range of no more than $18, and he's bought at least 15 feet. Okay, due to timing, I'm going to have to do a part 3 of this, so there will be a third part, so make sure you're looking for that third part. Thanks, guys, for being patient with me while we're figuring this out.